Welcome back to the Book Summaries channel. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have an irresistible magnetic pull over others, regardless of their looks or status? Today, we are diving into The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, a profound exploration of the psychology of attraction and the timeless tactics used by history's most legendary figures to win over hearts and minds. Greene begins by identifying 9 distinct types of seductive personalities that have appeared throughout history. Each character type possesses a specific quality that triggers a deep psychological response in others. The siren represents pure sexual energy and theatricality, while the rake offers a dangerous, obsessive devotion that many find irresistible. The ideal lover reflects the fantasies and unfulfilled desires of their target, creating a sense of perfection. The dandy plays with gender norms and social conventions to appear uniquely self-contained and fascinating. The natural projects a sense of childhood innocence and spontaneity that disarms the cynical. The coquette alternates between heat and cold, using withdrawal to spark a desperate chase. The charmer focuses entirely on making the target feel important and comfortable, bypassing their defenses. The charismatic projects a sense of purpose and confidence that others want to follow. Finally, the star appears distant and ethereal, allowing others to project their dreams onto them. This chapter focuses on the behaviors that repel others and kill attraction instantly. Anti-seducers are defined by their insecurity, self-absorption, and lack of awareness of others' needs. They are often too pushy, too cheap, or too talkative, failing to create the mystery required for a successful seduction. Greene identifies types like the brute, who is insensitive, and the moralizer, who judges others and stifles pleasure. The tightwad projects a sense of scarcity that is psychologically unattractive, while the bumbler makes everyone around them feel awkward. Recognizing these traits in ourselves is the first step toward becoming more seductive. Seduction requires a degree of self-control and the ability to step outside of one's own ego. If you project neediness or a lack of generosity, you will push people away before you even begin. The goal is to avoid these common pitfalls to maintain a magnetic presence. To seduce someone effectively, you must first understand who they are and what they lack in their lives. Greene breaks down potential targets into 18 categories based on their psychological needs. For instance, the reformed rake wants to feel the danger they have suppressed, while the disappointed dreamer seeks a fantasy that reality has failed to provide. The pampered royal is looking for someone who won't bow down to them, and the newbie is looking for an initiation into a new world. Each type has a specific hole in their psyche that the seducer must fill. By identifying these traits, a seducer can tailor their approach to be the perfect missing piece for that specific person. Seduction is not a one-size-fits-all process. It is a highly targeted psychological operation. If you try to seduce everyone the same way, you will fail more often than not. Success depends on keen observation and the ability to adapt your persona to the target's specific vacuum. The first phase of the seductive process focuses on making the target notice you and detaching them from their everyday life. This begins with choosing the right victim and moving into their field of vision slowly. You must create a false sense of security while simultaneously dropping hints of your seductive character. Using this siren's call, or the rake's intensity, you begin to occupy their mind. It is crucial to appear as an object of desire to others, as social proof creates instant value. You must also create a sense of mystery, making the target wonder about your true intentions. By being elusive and slightly ambiguous, you force the target to think about you when you are not there. This stage is about planting a seed of desire that will grow in the target's imagination. You are effectively separating them from their boring reality and preparing them for the journey ahead. Once interest is established, the seducer must deepen the emotional connection by creating a state of confusion and pleasure. This phase involves the use of smoke and mirrors to keep the target off balance. By alternating between being attentive and being distant, you create a psychological hook that keeps them chasing your validation. You must master the art of the insinuation, suggesting things rather than stating them directly to let their imagination do the work. This phase also involves entering the target's spirit, mirroring their values and tastes to make them feel understood. By creating a shared world of pleasure, you make the outside world seem dull and uninteresting. You must also introduce a sense of childlike play and adventure to break down their adult defenses. The goal is to make them dependent on the emotional highs only you can provide. Confusion leads to vulnerability, and vulnerability leads to surrender. In the third phase, the seducer moves toward the climax of the process by using more aggressive psychological tactics. This involves creating a sense of crisis or a forbidden element to the relationship to heighten the stakes. You must prove yourself through actions that show a willingness to sacrifice or take risks for the target. By isolating them further from their social circles, you become their primary source of emotional support and excitement. This is the time to use the blow, a sudden act that pushes the target over the edge into total infatuation. You might use vulnerability or a fake weakness to disarm them and make them feel a need to protect or save you. The tension must be built to a point where the target can no longer resist the urge to give in. It is about bringing them to the precipice, where the only choice left is to jump into the seduction. At this stage, the target is usually the one pursuing the final union. The final phase is the physical and emotional consummation of the seduction. Greene emphasizes that this must be handled with care to ensure the target feels they were the ones who made the choice. You must create a moment of total surrender where all logic is abandoned in favor of pure emotion and physical desire. This often involves a carefully orchestrated last stand, where the seducer appears to retreat, forcing the target to make the final move. Once the seduction is complete, the seducer must decide whether to continue the relationship or end it. If continuing, you must maintain the mystery to avoid the boredom that kills attraction. If ending it, you must do so in a way that doesn't cause unnecessary resentment. Seduction is a game that requires a clear beginning, middle, and end. The master seducer knows that the journey is often more important than the destination. The final chapter serves as a reminder that these tactics are powerful and should be used with a deep understanding of human nature.